We've had lots of conversations already this week around the client brain. And it seems like people are getting this a little bit wrong, right? Gartner calls it the second instance of client, or I forget their term. I should know it. But the client brain is not the AI. Okay, let's just be really clear with this. You know, Claude, like Anthropic or Open or whatever your AI engine is, whatever that LLM, ChatGPT, whatever it is, that's the reasoning engine. Okay. The brain is what you build underneath it. And I want to be really clear with this. It's the brain that you build underneath it, right? But you still use, your LLM. You use your preferred tools within your business. But the knowledge layer, right? The knowledge layer, the base underneath it is what you're building. And where do you come from? And there's a lot of places I've spoke about this a couple of times, but there's three areas that I tell everybody they have to do this if they're going to look at it right. And please challenge me on this. If anybody disagrees with this, come at me and let me know where you feel like I've got it wrong. I'm always trying to figure out and learn this better, but this has been working for me. Okay. But the first one's easy, right? It's the data collection phase. It's where everybody goes around and collects all the data they have. Their support cases, they collect their their sales cycle process. They figure out customer interactions. They figure out a bunch of different things from that data. And then a lot of times their LLM's smart enough to help them even figure out better questions, right? If they're asking them, hey, what else should I be looking at here? It's really good about saying you should be pulling data in different ways. But there's some things that I've noticed it missed a lot. And there's two other additional layers, right? And the first ones is the swings and the patterns. You have to understand what happened during the swings and the patterns of your buying and your churning in your client base. So mapping out when it was going up and down is the first piece. And then figuring out the economics as to why those things were happening becomes really easy now with your learn language models. Okay. It really does. Even if you've built them in house or you're taking them down or whatever they do, because you can now go back and look at stuff that you just never saw before. You didn't have the computing power to do. And one is the economic situation at the time, right? So if churn's going way down, what was the economics happening at either locally, globally, but some way that was impacting that industry or that company? You can see that data. And that's a big thing. So I really recommend when you're going through this, you actually say, okay, now give me for this industry, for this type of a client, for this, what was going on in the news? What was happening locally in Indiana or wherever these clients were during this time? What was the spark? What was the catalyst, right? You can really start to figure things out based off external environments, external events, because that is driving most of the moves from pre-contemplation to contemplation, where a prospect or a client or somebody actually believes they should make change or they should start thinking about making change. Okay, so those three layers are really important, and I want you to see it. Collect your data, right? Then do your trend analysis on when patterns were strong and when they weren't. Make your own hypothesis if you want, but throw them off to the side and then really get the data around the economics, the layers, and you will start to figure out, those are your three layers, right? Like what was happening? Did some jerk start talking about tariffs and that killed everything? Did somebody start talking about local cobot technology? Did somebody change the way music right distributions work? Like just things happen in those world. And then you can see the trickling event. Now that's a constant evolution to your knowledge base now. I'm going on too long today, but this is a constant evolution to your knowledge base. Make sure that you are keeping track with as trends are going up, what's currently happening, what's not. And your client brain or your second instance of your client or whatever they're calling it, it'll continue to always lead you with better insight than you could just go and gather at a moment's notice. This will always be gathering it if you build these things effectively. Call me if you need help with this. But anyhow, do the 3 layers. Don't just gather the first data or it'll screw you up. Okay. All right. Go get them. Have fun.